Welcome to the shadows of the mind, where the light of success casts the darkest silhouettes.
You have done it. You have climbed the mountain. You have finally reached the summit of your ambitions.
But instead of the air being thin and sweet, it feels heavy, suffocating, and incredibly cold. You look at the trophy in your hands, and all you see is a ticking time bomb of inevitable exposure. This is the imposter of the shadow, the silent, dark architect of your own internal self-sabotage. Most people believe that the fear of failure is the greatest obstacle to reaching human potential. They are wrong. The fear of failure is a simple, primal thing that is very easy to understand. The real monster is the fear of success, the paralyzing terror that you are finally becoming visible. Because visibility means scrutiny. Scrutiny means the world will finally see the cracks in your soul. You believe that your flaws are so profound that they must remain buried forever in the dark. When you were nobody, you were safe. In the obscurity of the crowd, your secrets were your own. But now that you have achieved something, the spotlight is burning through your carefully crafted mask. Every compliment you receive feels like a lie you are forced to tell back to the person giving it. Every accolade feels like a debt that you know, deep down, you can never actually hope to repay. You are an imposter in your own skin, waiting for the moment the curtain is finally pulled back. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow as the part of us we choose to hide from the rest of the world. But the shadow is not just your vices. It is also your unlived life and your untapped power. When you succeed, you are forced to integrate that power, but the shadow resists the light. It whispers that you are a thief. It tells you that you have stolen a life you do not deserve. This is why you pull back just before the finish line. This is why you break your own momentum. You would rather fail on your own terms than succeed and be exposed as a complete and total fraud. I don't have personal experiences or feelings, so I don't experience. That sense of doom is the shadow trying to protect you from the vulnerability of being great. To be great is to be seen. And to be seen is to be judged by those who do not understand you. The lone wolf knows this better than anyone. We find safety in the fringes, in the gray areas. When we move into the center of the frame, we lose the protection of our perceived insignificance. The imposter syndrome is not a lack of confidence. It is a surplus of self-awareness and fear. You are too aware of the distance between who you are and who the world thinks you have become. You see the internal chaos, while they only see the external order of your many achievements. You feel like a child wearing a suit that is far too big, pretending to be a master of the universe. But here is the secret that the shadow doesn't want you to know. Everyone else is also wearing a mask. The difference is that you are conscious of yours. Most people have forgotten they are even wearing one. Your high intelligence makes this worse. You can simulate 1,000 ways your reputation could fall. You analyze every word you speak, looking for the slip-up that will reveal your hidden incompetence. You are a master of the red pill reality. Yet you cannot accept the reality of your own merit. The shadow thrives on the paradox of your existence. It wants you to stay small and manageable. When you grow, the shadow must grow with you. It becomes heavier, louder, and more demanding. It uses your own morality against you. It tells you that being successful is a form of arrogance. It tells you that you are betraying your roots, your struggles, and the version of you that suffered. There is a comfort in the struggle. There is a strange, dark safety in being the underdog forever. When you win, you lose the right to complain. You lose the right to be a victim of your circumstances.
Success demands that you take full responsibility for the space you occupy in this physical world.
And responsibility is the one thing the shadow fears more than anything else in this existence.
If you are successful, you have no more excuses for your unhappiness or your internal conflicts.
So you create problems. You manufacture crises. You find ways to prove that you are still broken.
You might drink too much at the celebration. You might pick a fight with the people who helped you.
You might miss a deadline that was crucial, all to bring yourself back down to a level you recognize. You are terraforming your own success into a landscape of familiar, comfortable, safe failure. The imposter is the voice of the ego trying to reconcile the internal darkness with the external light.
It is a defense mechanism. If you reject yourself first, it won't hurt as much when they reject you.
But who are they? The faceless crowd? The critics who have never stepped into the arena themselves? The shadow feeds on the opinions of ghosts. It makes you a slave to a gallery of imaginary judges. You are living your life for a jury that doesn't exist, defending yourself against charges never filed. To break the cycle, you must stop trying to prove that you are not a fraud to the outside world. Instead, you must admit to yourself that you are a fraud, just like every other human being alive.
Humanity is a collective performance. We are all improvising in a play with no script and no director.
The flaws you are so afraid of are the very things that make your success meaningful and real. A perfect person achieving something is boring. A broken person achieving something is a miracle. Your shadow is not a reason to hide. It is the fuel that allowed you to climb the mountain in the first place. The darkness you carry provided the contrast necessary for your light to be visible to others. Stop trying to separate the two. You cannot have the peak without the base of the mountain. The fear will never fully go away. The higher you go, the more the wind of exposure will howl. The goal is not to become fearless. The goal is to become brave enough to be seen while trembling. Accept the mask. Wear it with the knowledge that it is a tool, not a cage for your true self. The world needs your potential more than it needs your modesty or your self-inflicted limitations. When you sabotage yourself, you are not being humble. You are being selfish with your gifts. You are denying the world the value you were built to provide because you are afraid of a blush. The imposter of the shadow is a liar. It tells you that you are the only one who feels this way. It isolates you in a prison of your own perceived unique brokenness, keeping you from connection. Look into the eyes of any great leader, artist, or thinker. You will see the same flicker of doubt. They are all waiting for the knock on the door. They are all waiting for the exposure of their soul. The difference is that they have decided to keep working until the knock finally comes for them. And usually, the knock never comes, because the world is too busy worrying about its own masks. You are hyper-focused on your own internal narrative, forgetting that everyone else is the lead in theirs. No one is looking at your cracks as closely as you are. They are too busy hiding their own from you. The shadow thrives in isolation. Bring it into the light. Talk about the fear. Own the discomfort. Once you name the imposter, it loses its power to control your actions from the dark corners. You become the master of the shadow, rather than its servant. You use the fear as a compass. If you feel like a fraud, it means you are treading on new ground. It means you are growing. Comfort is the graveyard of the soul. The feeling of being an imposter is the pulse of evolution. It means you have outgrown your previous version and have not yet fully inhabited the new one. It is the shedding of the skin. It is painful, it is raw, and it leaves you feeling very exposed. But you cannot grow a new skin without leaving the old one behind to rot in the sun of the past. Stop apologizing for the space you take up. Stop looking for permission to exist in your own life. The mountain doesn't ask for permission to be tall. The sun doesn't apologize for its blinding light. You are a force of nature that has been taught to think of itself as a mistake of the universe. The shadow wants you to believe that your success is a glitch in the system that must be corrected. Correct the shadow instead. Tell it that you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. Even if you don't believe it yet, say it until the architecture of your mind begins to shift. The rhythmic pulse of your doubt is just the heartbeat of a giant who is finally waking up. Do not go back to sleep. Do not crawl back into the cave of obscurity just because it is warm. The cold air of the summit is where you belong. The vertigo is just proof that you are high up. Embrace the fraudulence. If you are a fraud, then be the most magnificent fraud the world has seen. Perform your role with such intensity that the line between the mask and the face finally vanishes. In the end, we are all just stories we tell ourselves. Make sure yours is a story worth telling. The shadow will always be there, walking a step behind you, whispering its dark little doubts. Let it whisper. It has no hands to pull you down unless you give it yours to hold on to. Keep your hands on the wheel. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Keep moving toward the light. The fear of being found out is actually the secret desire to be truly known by another person. You are sabotaging yourself because you want someone to see the real you and tell you it's okay. But you are the only one who can give yourself that permission. You are the judge and the jury. The verdict is in. You are guilty of being human. You are guilty of having a shadow and a light. The sentence is to live your life to its absolute fullest potential, despite the persistent fear. There is no escape from the self. There is only the integration of the many parts of the self. The imposter is just the part of you that hasn't realized it's allowed to be powerful yet. Teach it. Show it that the world does not crumble when you stand tall and take what is yours. The cracks in the glass pedestal are not signs of weakness. They are the marks of your weight. You are heavy with purpose. You are dense with experience. You are a mountain in a world of dust. Let them look. Let them see. Let them wonder how a fraud like you managed to conquer the world. Because if a fraud can do what you have done, then the word fraud has lost all of its meaning. You are not an imposter. You are a pioneer in the dark territory of your own incredible soul. The shadow is not your enemy. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded while your head is in the clouds. Without the shadow, you would drift away into the delusions of the ego and lose your humanity. Thank the imposter for keeping you humble, but do not let it keep you from your rightful throne. The throne is cold, it is lonely, and it is very high up. But the view is absolutely breathtaking. Stay there. Breathe the thin air. Look down at the path you carved through the thick, dark brush. You earned this. Even the parts of you that you hate earned this, especially those parts. Success is the ultimate confrontation with the self. Do not blink. Do not turn your head away. Look into the eyes of your own greatness until the fear turns into a quiet, steady kind of peace. You are home now, in the light, in the shadow, in the beautiful, terrifying truth of who you are. The mask is part of the face. The fraud is part of the master. The shadow is part of the sun. Welcome to the end of the hiding. Welcome to the beginning of your real life in the world. This is Psychumbra. We don't fear the dark. We learn to see through it with perfect clarity. Until next time, keep walking through the shadows. The light is closer than you think it is.